Cope has begun to take over the internet. For those of you who don't know what Cope is, I'm sure you're probably using it to not click on this video, or using it to watch porn, or using it for any excuse on the planet, because Cope is essentially an excuse. It's a mechanism inside of your mind that literally keeps you in the same place regardless of how you feel. You get these motivation highs. The surge afterwards where you feel like nothing. That's Cope. Your mind has literally been conditioned into Cope. So today, I want to help you remove Cope from your life entirely, because Cope is actually doing us a lot of harm. Having lots of Cope is like sitting behind a 40-mile-an-hour driving and being like, at least they're not going 35. At least they're not going 30. But the road's 60 miles an hour. You could overtake, but I couldn't see because of the rain. That's what Cope is. Cope is finding excuses to make your actions seem justified, to make other people's actions seem justified, and to leave you content. Content is the key word. Leave you in the same place, semi-happy, not really feeling any emotions as a matter of fact, just sitting there like, meh, whatever. That's why I like the road example a lot, because there are a lot of drivers on this planet who genuinely want to go fast, but instead of going fast, they sit behind a car that does 40 because the excuses they can't overtake, or at least they're not going 35, or whatever reason they can find. This is Cope. And as you could tell, it's actually beginning to destroy us. Because like I said, you lot use Cope for addictions, you lot use Cope for video games, you lot use Cope for content consumption. That's probably the reason you clicked on YouTube and are watching this video right now. Cope is literally destructing your brain. It's making it smaller and less powerful. And instead of actually admitting that and understanding you shouldn't use Cope, you continue to. So let me give you the full breakdown on how to stop using Cope as a day-to-day mechanism to be happy. First thing you have to understand, happiness isn't the only goal. If you're a dude on this planet, happiness is not the goal. Let me explain. Happiness is this buzzword, it's this emotion, almost like protein with food nowadays. People use it to signify importance, but in reality, is happiness actually that important? Of course, it's important to have good mental health. I've made mental health videos before, I put a card up here just for you. But happiness and mental health aren't actually correlated at all. If you go outside in the sun, you'll feel powerful. You might feel happy as well, just as a side effect, like 5%. But mainly, the number one thing you'll gain is power. You'll probably feel hot if it's sunny. You'll probably feel slightly cooler if it's raining. You'll probably feel a little bit tired if it's really hot and you've been out there for hours. But no matter what you do when you go outside, do you really feel happy? Or do you sort of feel satisfied? Do you sort of feel pleased with yourself that you went outside? You see? It's not happiness. It's just pleasure. It's just not really even joy, is it? It's like literally just pleasure. And I know some of you lot right now might be saying, oh, pleasure and happiness is the same thing. No, it's not. And allow me to explain in number two. Number two thing you must understand is everybody uses Cope around you. Your teachers use Cope. Your brothers, sisters, family members, friends, whoever you could think of, they use Cope. Because it's slowly been ingrained into your minds. But Cope is bad. Cope is negative. Because it doesn't actually give you any ambition. You know these people that watch a motivational video? You might be one of them. And you get that little buzz of motivation. Just like sometimes you watch a pet video on your little Instagram reels and you be like, yay, there's an animal. And you feel happy for a second, right? This is what it does. It just raises something inside your mind. Raises dopamine. And then it disappears. Cope is basically raising dopamine and making it disappear. You're making sure that you feel semi-comfortable in the scenario you're in. That's not supposed to happen. You need to use your emotions to your advantage. And that's why I said, don't think of happiness. Don't use happiness. Happiness isn't real. The belief of placebo, I made a video on it here. That's why I'm saying happiness isn't real. If you can genuinely believe happiness isn't something to chase, isn't something that you can improve, you're just as happy as you can be, guess what's going to happen? Happiness is no longer going to become a problem. And it's the same with all these other emotions. But for one, with Cope, you should be using anger. You should be using frustration and emptiness. If you feel empty, you use Cope to say, yeah, but that's because I'm laying down. No, you're laying down because you feel empty. You're empty because you feel laying down. Do you understand? It's not the same way you're thinking about it. Essentially, you're thinking, I'm laying down, so I feel empty. But in reality, you have nothing better to do, that's why you're laying down. Don't use Cope. You need to be blunt and honest with yourself because you're the only person who can genuinely change your life. And this isn't meant to be no motivational video. I want this to be honest and authentic with you. This is what works for me. Cope is bullshit. Cope is driving a car you hate and being happy because, at least it drives me from A to B. So does every car on the planet, but would you be happy with a Fiat 500? Dude, come on. You wouldn't be. The aspirations you have, the reason you don't have them is because you aren't angry enough. This anger you're supposed to have, that's supposed to replace cope, is meant to inspire you to actually get out of this shithole you're in and climb higher. Climb higher and higher and higher and get to that car. That car is the guiding star. The guiding star, the key to forming against cope. The guiding star. I'm sure a couple of days ago on April Fools, you had your friend make a joke. And you were like, it doesn't matter because it's April Fools. Or you have these people who use mega cope on April Fools, like, I'm gonna go ask out a girl on April Fools, and if she says no, I'll just say, it's a joke. Cope, because you're a pussy. And this is being honest with yourself. Stop using cope, man. Because I'm telling you right now, cope has destroyed the lives of people around me. Every single one of them. Genuinely. And I don't want it to destroy yours as well. I don't care if anyone around me is watching, it's destroyed your life. It's destroyed your life. And it will continue to. It will get worse and worse and worse if you allow it to. If you let it breed inside of your mind, you need to refuse it. The only way to refuse it is by completely ignoring cope. And when you feel angry, you understand you feel angry for a reason. You need to actually dig deep and find the reason why. I'm making this video out of anger, out of spite, out of hatred. Nothing else. I'm making this video because I was going on a rant and I just turned on the camera. That's literally the only reason. It's not because I planned it meticulously. I have 0 fucking notes in my book saying, make a video about cope. 0 notes at all. Just like you probably have 0 idea what you're even watching right now. You just clicked on a random video because the dopamine allowed you to. But again, it's cope. And this is one of the most important things I genuinely think I'm going to talk about all month. So you're very lucky to have stumbled across this video, my friend. Cope is being a twat. Looking at the markets all crashing down to the floor and still just holding that purchase you brought on the way down and saying, it's okay, we'll go back up. Even though some of the stocks will never recover. You just hope it will. And the cope is allowing you to be stress-free. But then doesn't this make cope good if you have less stress? No. Because you see, cope blocks the stress temporarily. But on a permanent scale, it begins to stack and add up. It's like in Minecraft, if you have like a water thingy and it slows down the equipment instead of just dropping it down the hole. Guess what? It's just going to slow down the equipment from getting there. The equipment's still going to deliver to the end of the river. You're just slowing it down. Or one of the people in Minecraft, when they're falling through the webs, they're going slower, but they're still going to reach the floor. And once they reach the floor, they're coming after you. You know, cope is like placing a cobweb and just saying, slow yourself down. I'll be ready with you in like 20 minutes. But the truth is, you won't ever be. You're just infinitely placing them fucking cobwebs. And when you reach the floor, you are going to get fucked by so much stress you would never be able to believe. If you do not want stress, stop using cope. Deal with the stress right now. Don't postpone it. Don't be a twat. Just deal with it right now. Because the cope's going to get worse and worse and worse just as the stress. You need to use your brain a little bit more. Genuinely. So make sure to keep working hard. Work harder. Work harder than you can even believe. And then whatever sadness, agitation, anger you have with your scenario right now, you can leave it behind. Forget about it forever. But this is going to take time. It's going to take time to adapt to the cope mindset. You're going to go from saying at least to this guy's going slow. You're going to go from saying at least to this is just blunt and honest answers. You're going to stop using this cope eventually, just like I have. It's taken me months, I won't lie. But once you stop using cope, stop sugarcoating shit, and you can be blunt and honest, you'll be able to do 10 times as much because now you're at least honest with yourself. Cool, use cope with your friends and family, don't let them know. But to yourself, be honest. If you can't even be honest with yourself, how can anyone else trust you? Because that's a famous quote I said. Obviously it's not famous. It is a quote I said. How can you trust somebody who can't even trust themselves? Genuinely. Think about that. And think about the cope you use every single day. I guarantee you it's worse than you'd even think. Oh, the commute was slow today, but at least it wasn't too loud. Or the commute was super loud, but at least it felt quicker because I was using my phone as a distraction. Cope is leaving you weak. Because now you have no ambition to go out and achieve something because you think it's just comfortable life. And I'm sorry for those of you who dislike him, but this is exactly something Andrew Tate said many times before about jacking off. If you jerk off, it makes you feel comfortable. It makes you feel like you've got a girlfriend, you've got it all sorted out. And then you stop being so ambitious. That is cope. Even though he didn't say it, that is cope. And I know a lot of you don't like him, but is that cope too? Or is there genuinely a reason why you don't like him? Genuinely just think about that for a second, right? Just think about it. I'm not saying you have to like him, but what I'm saying is maybe he's not as bad as you think. Or maybe he's worse than you think because you're using cope. You will never get a real answer using cope. And just understand that and realise you must keep working hard. You must keep doing whatever you can to change your life. And I'm not going to give you life advice, right? It's a 17-year-old. I don't have any right to give you life advice. These people who have lived till 35, they've got more wisdom, more experience, more power, probably more testosterone than I do, as of right now. But I'm going to overtake them, obviously. I will overtake them in life. But until then, trust me when I say this. I've learned from experience and I don't want you to go through the same mistakes. Stop using cope. Because I guarantee you, wherever you were, wherever you may go, you would hate someone. And you just have to be honest enough to yourself to say, I hate it. I hate it so much, I need to do something else. If you use cope, you'll stay in the same boat and it will just drag you down like an anchor. If you stop using cope, you just chop off the anchor and you get to flow through. It's your choice. Do the hard work even when you don't feel like it. Stay strong out there, and I'll see you tomorrow.